Hello there. This is Angela Hubbs and welcome. It is 6:30 and it is Memorial Day. It's interesting because most holidays don't mean anything to me, partly because it's still a work day for me. But I think having a day to really appreciate is a good thing, no matter what it is that we're meant to appreciate. So my theme for this week is focus up. So I have this book that one of my mentors gave me. I don't know if you guys see that backwards? All right, it's called Inspiration, and every day there's a different every day there's a different quote. And this whole week in this book is about persistence and not quitting. And so I wanted to read you this one quote before we got started. Nothing in this world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful people with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. Calvin Coolidge. And so this whole week is about not quitting. You're not a loser unless you quit. You're not going to get anywhere unless you keep going. So this week is about where you put your focus. And you always want to focus up. You always want to focus on your unlimited possibilities. You always want to focus on your unlimited potential. There's another P. So we just throw that in there that this week you are allowed to lose, but just keep going. You're allowed to trip. You're allowed to fall, but just keep going. So right now, Marvin is, if you ever see the camera move, it's because Marvin keeps pushing it over. So even if you don't have it perfect, it is okay. Stop, come on. No, go there. It is okay to keep going. So this today is about just continuing to move forward, no matter what. Are you ready? Okay. Sit up as tall as you can. Whatever's an easy seat for you, we begin. Just take a shoulder roll up and back. Open your collarbones wide. Bring your hands, palms up on your lap. Close your eyes. I want you to imagine that you're leaning against a wall. So I want you to put your head, your shoulders, your back up against the wall and just keep your spine really tall. And just start to notice what your body feels like. Here in New York City this morning, it's raining. It was beautiful yesterday. So to look outside the window and to hear the rain falling is actually kind of cool. So I want you to notice if there's anything you can hear around you. I want you to notice if there's anything you can see. Well, if your eyes are closed, you can't see. But the idea is, I just want you to be aware of your surroundings. Feel the air on your skin. Feel the temperature of the space. If you have a cat, yank it on your hand. Nice and slow, you're going to bring your hands to your heart. Leave a little space in between the palms of your hands. Just leave that space open. I want you to connect right now to your, what my mentors call your stand, your why. Why do you get out of bed in the morning? My why, my stand, is that everybody gets to live a life they're excited about in a body that they love. And so it gets me out of bed in the morning when I see people who need what I do, when I see people who could be living full, passionate, energy-filled lives, people who are not, who should be, which is everybody. So I want you to think about your why. Your why is your focus. And we focus up. So focus on your unlimited potential. Take a breath in, slide your hands straight up towards the sky. And as you exhale, big circle, bring your hands right back to your heart. And we're going to do that 3 times. That was 1. Inhale and exhale. 1 more. You're going to keep your hands at your heart, interlace your fingers, turn your hands palms forward, spine backwards. Take a breath in. Let go, turn to the right. Inhale, turn to the left. Exhale. Back to the center, interlace your fingers. Palms backwards. Inhale, turn to the left first. Inhale. Exhale. Back to the center. Just stay here. Spine backwards and hold. Drop your chin to your chest. Make your spine hollow. In other words, pull your belly button in and up. Inhale deep. And then let go. Come to all fours. So, my big fat kitty on my yoga mat. I might have to move you, Marvin. Okay. So I want you to come to all fours. Hang on, let me move you here. Okay. So we're in all fours. Curl your toes, drop your belly, open your chest. Make your spine round, go the opposite direction. So this should feel familiar. We do this often. This should feel really nice for your spine. Nothing about this should be painful. Big breath in. Full breath out. And then start to take it in a circle. Just start to assess where your body's at today. Notice if there's any place that holds any tension. Notice if there's any place that holds any pain for you. And linger there. Drop your head. Drop your hips, right, Marvin? And then go back to child's pose. Rear end to heels, reach your hands forward. Just drop your body in between your thighs. Oh. Got it. Roll yourself up to sit. Drag your hands along the mat. This is child's play. Open your chest. And then exhale, come all the way forward. We're going to do it again. Big breath in, peel yourself open. Drag your hands along the mat. Hands hit right beside your hips. Some of you might even decide it feels good to lift your hips. Come all the way forward. And then come back to all fours. Once you're in all fours, curl your toes under, plant both of your hands, lift. And then pedal your heels, bend the right, bend the left. Now my downward facing dog is really shallow, partly so I could see you, partly because Marvin's in the way. So your heels do not have to touch. Mine only touch because I'm really close to my feet. When I'm in the right spot for downward facing dog, my heels do not touch. But I don't want you to lift your heels. See if you can keep your heels reaching for the ground. And what you should feel is a long stretch through your back, through the backs of your legs. Drop your head and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, and then slow 1. Float both knees to the floor. We're in all fours. Take your right hand straight up towards the sky. Peel yourself open. Exhale, thread the needle. Right hand underneath of your left armpit, but not to stay. Inhale, open wide. Peel yourself open. Exhale, thread the needle. Hand underneath. We're going to do that one more time. Inhale, open wide. Exhale, thread, and pause. So I'm going to move so that you can still see me. You want to be on your cheek. So the goal here is that your hips don't move. You actually want to keep your butt in the same spot. How far can you twist and reach with this right hand? So if you want more, you're going to start to take your left hand and reach it far away from you. You're going to breathe. Every time you breathe, you're going to see if you can open your chest even more to the sky. Big breath in. Full breath out. Just make that feel nice, like you're wringing out a rag. You're a spiral staircase. So we're just twisting open. And then we're going to get out of it. So you're going to slide your hand back underneath of your shoulder if you moved it. Press into that left hand to come back to all fours. Once we're back to all fours, you're going to end up taking a breath in, a breath out, and come to child's play. Press all the way back. Peel yourself open. Lead with your heart. So we come back to all fours. So once we're in all fours, we're going to do this now on the other side. Take your left hand. Peel yourself open. Hand straight up towards the sky. Exhale, thread the needle. Hand underneath of your right. Inhale, open wide. Exhale, thread. Last one. Inhale wide. Exhale, and now stay. So remember, if this feels good for you, you can stay here, or cat. Reach over the cat. Look underneath of your armpit. Look up towards the sky and just pause. Big breaths in. Full breaths out. Ouch! Ouch! Stop it. So you're going to slide your hand back underneath of your shoulder. And back to all fours. Give yourself a cow, a cat. Child's play. Peel yourself open. And then come back to neutral. So right now we're sitting on our heels. So I'm going to turn around for a second because I want you to see something with my feet. Most people I encounter, they are very tight in their feet. And part of it is because we don't ever do any exercises or stretches for the feet unless you're a dancer. So the goal is to have your heels touching. Now, you're going to see my heels come apart, but to the best of your ability, keep your heels touching and see if you can sit down on your heels. Now, like I said, once my butt was finally down, you could see my heels like slightly came apart, but to the best of your ability, see if you can keep your heels touching. So for me, what I can feel is right on the tops of my feet. Those of you who need more, like if you don't feel a stretch like I do, you're going to take your hands to the ground and you're going to see if you can lift your knees off the ground. But if you can still keep your heels touching, you'll feel that a lot. If this is too much, you're only going to go back as far as you can. Okay, so those of you, if it's too much to do that, you're going to have your hands on the ground and you're only going to lean backwards as much as that feels good for you. So that means you're just going to support it. That's all that means. For those of you who need more, no, I take that back. We'll come to that later. Right now we're dealing with the tops of the feet. That next one, which is called hero pose, is actually for your hips, and we'll talk about that. It's interesting. That's not one I do often in my classes because most people aren't ready for it. And I'll show you what I mean. It's just not a direction we move very often, and it puts a lot of people's knees in jeopardy. So I'll show you the next thing I want to try here, and if this doesn't work for you, that's okay. We'll stay here. So right now we're going to keep the knees together. You're going to open your feet wider than your hips. So both of my feet are wider than my hips. For me, I actually can't touch the ground this way. It's two things. One, some of my muscles are a little big, but I'm also not that flexible here. So if I go too far, I actually start to feel it in my knees. So for me, this is what I've got. I'm leaning slightly forward, and I'm giving myself a little support so that I can feel the stretch, but it's not in my knees. Some of you are going to try to cheat, and you're going to try to do this to sit down. This is not good because it makes your lower bone, which is your shin, your tibia, your fibia, it makes that bone go a different direction than your thigh bone, your femur. So you have to stay on the top of your feet in order to have this work. Okay, so whatever version of this that you're in, whether your feet are still together or if you decided to take it up a notch with me, pause. I just want you to breathe. Some of you might be really flexible this way, and if your butt hits the ground, then you can lay down flat. Otherwise, you're just going to stay with me. And even for me, as I sit here, I'm melting into the pose, and I can feel the stretch. It doesn't hurt. Don't ever take it to a place that hurts. Just breathe. And I want you to close your eyes and just be in your pose. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So if your eyes were closed, just flutter your eyes open. You're going to allow your body to unwind. So you're going to put your butt off on one side and take your legs around. Straighten them and then just hold. So what I want you to notice is what's called the tourniquet effect. The way our legs were, especially if you had your feet outside of your hips, we didn't cut off blood flow, but we did slow it down a lot. So, now that the legs are straight, I want you to notice if there's a warm, tingly sensation, a cold sensation, any type of something that's happening now in your lower legs. You're going to notice that something's happening, right? So just be present with what's happening in your legs. We just turned the femur bone this way. In other words, when we have our leg this way, this whole bone turns inside. So now we're going to do the opposite. I actually want you to turn your bone outwards. So you're going to end up taking your right shin on the bottom, left on the top. So you're aiming your foot in your hip crease. It's okay if it doesn't get there. And some of you might need to support it. Again, this is going to be a lot of stretch for the foot. This is called a half lotus. If you need less, just slide the foot a little further away from you. So for me, I'm actually going to go here. Okay. So, and actually that is a lot of stretch. A lot of stretch for my foot. Okay. So we've got the foot down. You're going to breathe and just allow the knee to fall where it may. So for me, I'm actually pretty far away from the floor. For my super duper duper flexible folk, if you can get your foot into your hip crease and have the knee touch the floor, that's when you're ready for full lotus. Full lotus is that one where you tie yourself in a knot. You take the bottom foot and also bring it to your hip crease. So at this point, I'm not there today, and part of why I'm not there is biking, swimming, running. It tightens up a lot of stuff, including feet, which is actually where I feel this right now the most. Some of you might be feeling this in your hip a lot, which is all fine. Wherever you feel it, it just means that's where you need it. You're going to sit up really tall. Do not change your legs. Twist to your right. Big breath in, full breath out. Then we're going to go the opposite direction. So here's a breath in. Here's a breath out. Very good. Come back to the center and now lean forward. Now, if you feel like being fancy, I'll show you a way to make this fancy. You're going to take your left hand behind your back and you're going to aim for grabbing your big toe. So today, again, I'm pretty tight, so I'm not going to grab my big toe. However, I'm going to modify it. I'm going to hold on to my elbow pit and then hold on to my big toe. And the goal is to pull this backwards, right? Pull it backwards and then lean forward. If you don't feel like tying yourself in a knot, totally fine. Just take both of your hands and reach forward. No problem. What this does, and actually we'll do a version of this here in a second so that you can feel this, but this helps to open your chest a little bit, and I'll show you what I mean. Last count of 5, just surrender forward. Whatever you feel, it's what you feel. There's nothing wrong, nothing right. Just focus up. Focus on just being in the pose. Focus on the unlimited possibility that eventually you'll be able to tie yourself in a knot. 3, 2, 1. So don't change your legs. Okay, so if you did not do this, I actually want you to come here so that you can feel this. You're going to grab your elbow pit. So your right hand, imagine it's holding a pie. All right, so you've got your right hand, reach the pie forward. What you should be feeling is a stretch through here. And because we spend our whole lives eating, texting, writing, typing, everything gets pulled forward. So right now we are pulling this area backwards. Okay, so you're handing me the pie. Last step, lengthen your spine, so sit straight up, but now just drop your ear to the right. So you're dropping your ear to the pie side. Hand me the pie. If you're really dropping your ear, you're now going to feel this here. Bam, right? Feel good? Especially those of you who hold a lot of tension in your neck, this is a good one. You can even change where you feel it by dropping your chin slightly down or slightly up. Let go. You're going to take this left leg and we're going to do what's called rock the baby. So level 1, you're trying to bring the shin bone closer to your chest. Level 2, you're actually going to see if you can, or how much you can get your foot in your elbow pit and then hug the leg in towards your baby, in towards your chest as if it were a baby, because it's called rock the baby. I know English, I promise. It's still early. So do rock your hip, and what you should feel is right in through here. So one last big squeeze. Then you're going to straighten both your legs. And again, I want you to notice as you sit here, notice the difference between the two legs. Notice if one feels really light or heavy, one feels cold, one hot. Just notice whatever is going on in your body. There's no wrong answer. Take both of your hands behind your hips. Level 1, you're going to bend your knees with me. Level 2, you can keep your legs straight for reverse plank. If none of that feels good, just stay here and open your chest. Feet down or legs straight. Lift into tabletop. Drop your head. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Booty down. Left shin is now parallel, well, not parallel, but left shin is down on the bottom. take the right shin as high into your hip crease as you can get it. And then just sit up really tall. Again, for those of you who want a little more, if you can get your bottom knee to touch the floor, that's when you grab the bottom to bring it on top. Otherwise, you're going to stay with me in a half lotus. Okay, so either stay here or grab your big toe or come to the modified version. Remember that if none of that feels good, just lean forward with both hands. But that's where we're going. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, bow forward, drop your chin. And again, I just want you to pay attention to what sensations are happening in your body. I want you to notice if this side feels different than the other side. I want you to notice if it's easier, harder. Notice everything that happens, because yoga isn't just about being in the shape. It's about being with yourself in the different shapes. For me, this side is actually easier. Most people I encounter are more flexible in their right side than they are on the left. Which is weird. No, is that right? Yeah. In this particular shape, the right side tends to be more flexible than the left. Do you fall into that category? Okay, bring yourself up to sit. Don't change the legs, just let go. Long spine. Exhale, twist to your right. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist to the left. Perfect. Come back to the center. Come into the half bind with the hands. Reach forward, hand me the pie. Then drop your ear to the pie side. The pie side. Oh, yeah. The pie side. Come back to the center. Let go. Straighten your legs. And again, just pay attention to what's going on in the right versus the left. Yikes. So for me, I'm feeling like tingly and cold on the side that was on the top. Legs stay straight. So I want you to imagine right now we're a stapler. Don't worry, this isn't about touching your toes, but I want you to imagine, we're a stapler. So you're going to take your hands straight up towards the sky, take a breath in. You're going to hinge at the hip. We're stapling the piece of paper. Inhale, reach straight up. Long spine. Do it again. Exhale, lean forward. Inhale, tall spine. And on this one, it does not matter how far you go. Lean forward and hold. So I want you to reach your hands as far away from you as you can for 5. Breathe. 4, 3, 2, 1. Tall and let go. Soften your knees a lot. Hold on to your thighs and straighten your legs as much as it feels good for you. Let's see if you can keep your chest glued to your thighs. Drop your head. And right now what you should be feeling is a stretch through your whole back body, not just your hamstrings, but your whole back body. So I want you to remember that any yoga pose you ever do is designed to have your whole body involved. So if you ever feel it in just one spot, it's not wrong, but see if you can invite other places in your body to join the fun. We're going to hold for another count of 5, 4, keep surrendering forward, 3, 2, 1, and then you're going to lay down. So time goes by so fast, so fast. Okay. So you're laying down on the floor. Open your hands to cactus. You're just going to open your hands out to the side at this 90-degree angle. Take both of your knees and just gently rock from the right to the left. But see if you can keep your shoulders down on the floor. What you're going to feel is a stretch through the front hip and through your back. Pick one side and stay there. Turn your upper body to the opposite direction, and it doesn't matter. If you want a little more, you're going to take your top leg and just invite it closer to the floor. And breathe. Again, the goal here is to get a spine twist into you. We're going to go the opposite direction. So nice and slow, let your knees float through the center. Drop your knees the other direction. Turn your upper body face away from the legs. And remember, if you want a little more, just invite the thigh closer to the floor. We're going to come back to the center. Both of your feet flat, and then open your knees like a book. This is familiar. Again, we do this often. This is a way for us to be still and to still get a little bit of a stretch. So just keep letting your knees open. Take one hand to your chest, one hand to your belly, and then I just want you to close your eyes. We're just going to do this for 30 seconds or so. I want you to breathe. And I want you to think about your why. Why do you get out of bed in the morning? Now, an easy answer would be, oh, to pay bills. I get out so I could pay bills. Why is it important for you to pay bills? So I don't get evicted. Well, what would it matter? What would it matter? Why does what you do matter? Who does it matter for? I have clients that their why is their family, their sons, their daughters. That's a perfectly good why. But I want you to think about why you're here. What gifts do you have that the world needs? What is it that you want to contribute? 10 years from now, what do you wish we would be saying about you? That is your why. For the moment, I want you to connect to your why. I want you to focus up on your why. So otherwise, what's the point? You are too important. What you do is needed so badly, no matter what it is. So connect to it. And those mornings when it's hard to get out of bed, connect to your why. Focus up. And take your hands, close your knees. Hug both of your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a huge squeeze. Then you're going to roll over to one side. You're going to take 3 breaths rolled over to the side. And I want you to think of this as that middle place between complete relaxation and being a force for awesome on this planet. So only when you're ready, only when you're committed, bring yourself to sit and bring your why, bring your focus with you. Sit up as tall as you can. Leave a little space in between the palms of your hands Take a deep breath in through your nose. We're going to do it again. Big breath in. Bring your thumbs to your third eye, right in between your eyebrows. May you only know peace. Bring your thumbs to your lips. May you only speak truth. And bring your thumbs to your heart. May you continue to be a light to all those you encounter. May you only be able to focus up. Focus on your why and your unlimited possibilities. Namaste. I hope you have a wonderful week. Happy Memorial Day. Focus on your purpose. Focus on what lights you up. Have a great one.